The Fuel Racetrack Designs IndyCar Series heads to their 11th round of the season in a bit of a homecoming here for SimTV. Welcome to upstate New York and Watkins, Glen International. My name, of course, is Kyle Heyer, joined tonight by Finney and Nakuna for SimTV for the 11th round of the season in the Fuel Racetrack Designs IndyCar Series at the 3.38 mile Watkins, Glen International, the version without the back straightaway inner loop. With a championship on the climb as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, things are getting a little bit tight at the top of the point system. But this fast road course here in Watkins Glen, New York is going to be a big question mark in the run to the end of the season. This is, I believe, our last road course for the end of the season. I wish we might have one more. I think Laguna Seca is left. But finally, a trip back to Watkins Glen, New York. And Finian, let's take a quick look at our track guide for tonight's race. So heading down into turn number 1, high speeds here to Dallara IR18 IndyCar. Again, this track 3.38 miles. Long front straightaway, you'll be in 4th or 5th gear. At the top of 5th, you'll be banging down to about 4th gear into turn number 1, called the 90, a fast right-hand corner. Then you head over to turn number 2 at the lowest point of the racetrack before climbing up 110 feet up turns 2, 3, and 4 through the S's and onto the long back straightaway. This straightaway is 2,000 feet long and no inner loop here to slow the cars down until you get to turn number 5, the Carousel, a fast 5th gear right-hander that leads down into turn number 6, a weirdly off-camber left-hander that leads down into what's called the boot section because it looks like a boot from up above. Then down into the bottom of the boot, the toe. Turn number 7, a 180-degree right-hander that heads uphill, puts a lot of load on these tires and on the driver's brakes as well. Another short straightaway leads down to turn number 8, one of the slower corners on the racetrack, a right-hander that starts an uphill climb into turn 9, an off-camber left-hander back onto the short course before turns 10 and 11, a quick left-right sweep to finish up the lap. That is a lap around here at Watkins Glen International, and it's time to head down as qualifying is underway tonight, Finian. Your expectations, how crazy is this race going to be with the championship coming up soon?
I think it is going to be pretty crazy, especially if Montreal's anything to go off of. So I'll have to keep an eye and see what these guys are up to, especially our championship leaders. You know, Kyle Bommersbach, he's only 36 points behind, made up a huge amount of points on John Poole after last week, so that gap's closed down significant, and that giant gap that Poole had and could have potentially expanded or at least kept, which is almost a race worth of an advantage, is pretty much gone now.
It's qualifying underway again. The drivers have 2 laps to make their runs around here, and we'll pull the points picture away for now because we want to focus on the race. Again, 47 laps here tonight, Finian. But this track, there's a lot of unknowns coming in tonight because take a look. The cones on the inner loop on the long back straightaway. This right here is going to be your best passing opportunity into the Carousel, but it's not perhaps a safe passing opportunity by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, that was the idea, again, to really, because these cars, as fun as the inner loop is, you can't really pull a pass in the bus stop. You can do it in a stock car, can't do it really much in an Indy car. So what the idea was is to use the advantage of essentially turning the run from turn 2 all the way down to the Carousel, make that one giant essentially straightaway because these guys are going to be constantly accelerating up the hill, and let them use that to make a passing opportunity happen.
So the boot section also as well. Again, not a section that you would use with stock cars, but here at open wheel, drivers very familiar with this layout. But this is not an easy part of the racetrack. A lot of drivers prefer the short course because the boot is so challenging and treacherous compared to the rest of the lap. It really slows the pace of the lap down. And you see Zach Buchanan working through the heel of the boot here. A lot of off-camber corners, no runoff at all to speak of. If you run off the racetrack here, you're going to find yourself in the fence. So Buchanan works his way back onto the course. And we'll ride on board a lap here with the number 40 if we get the opportunity to. He's going to get on the curb there in turn 6 and set himself up for another lap. This is a fast racetrack. Low downforce, high downforce. What do you find is the best mix? I mean, of course, fixed setup here, so it's not so much a concern, but I mean, when you think about this racetrack, a lot of people think of it as low downforce because it's got so many straightaways, but it's got a lot of fast corners as well.
I think you're definitely going to need at least enough downforce to make it through the corners, because a lot of these corners you can go through at a high rate of speed, especially up in the S's, especially, for example, you drive the F1 car around here, the 2015 one, the McLaren. It is dangerous up at the top. Even on a high downforce setup, the car kicks the back end out over the S's. You have so much power going down. These cars not as much of a problem, but yeah, it's weird. It is weird because again, with all the straightaways and all the high downforce corners, you need a really good balance per car. But again, obviously these guys don't have to worry about it.
You spoke about the S's. There's a lot of places around here where you can make passes, but this is not one of them. This is a single file section on this racetrack. This is going to be the big trouble spot, I think, tonight, especially on the initial start. And if we do get a restart, this is going to be a very challenging place because it's so inviting. You see some slow cars. You think you can make it off to the right or to the left, and before you know it, there's some blue Armco right in your visor. It's just not a fun place to go side by side in any car, whether that be an MX-5 or a 650 horsepower IR18. So qualifying underway. Some news this week with Project 2, Finian. There was a couple shakeups heading into 2020 and also starting tonight with their team lineup. And so basically, here's the gist of it. Nick Johnston has moved to Project 2 effective today. So that 28 car, again, having a pretty solid season and sitting in 12th in the standings. He's had some good runs, has been up towards the front, and he'll be joining Project 2 effective tonight. Now, Kite Bommersbach and Colin Fambro will be moving to Project 2 for 2020 Season A. So next season, it'll be Kite and Bommersbach who's second in the points right now, joining Project 2 as well. So a bit of shake-up there. In other news,
change their name.
Yes, Project 5 or whatever we're up to now. Also, RX Racing shutting down at the end of 19A, so Liam Sheen and Nate Stewart will be moving to GMS heading into next season. So there's Nicholas Johnson. He's fourth in qualifying. How about Cristobal Valenzuela in the number 3? I think that this team, Cristobal and also his teammate, this is going to be a great opportunity for them to get good results.
Yeah,
Rodrigo Munoz, who's currently in 10th. Road courses, I feel like, are going to be their strong suit. And right now, second in qualifying, a great effort as Zach Buchanan sits on top of the board. So 4.5 minutes left in qualifying. Andrew Wood is out on course now. Mitch Welker, another Project 2 car we were just taking a look at, and probably shoulda, coulda, woulda won Montreal last week. Didn't get it done. Had some strategy not go his way. This should really be a two-stop race heading into the night, Phineas, so there shouldn't be a whole lot of question marks about that.
Also, interesting paint scheme for him.
Yeah, new paint scheme on board this car this week. So the fuel window is anywhere between 16 to 18 laps. Again, 47 laps tonight, so it'll be a minimum a two-stop race this evening. Who else is on a track? Jack Andrick in the number 9. I had a bit of trouble last week at Montreal. Got caught up in a collision. I believe it was with Zach Buchanan down into the hairpin. So looking for a bit of redemption here this week, putting his effort in right now. Take a look at our conditions tonight. Track temp, a little bit toasty, 118 degrees.
Yep. Well, luckily for them, it's not as toasty as it was at Charlotte the other day.
Yeah.
It was 152.
And the thing is, the drivers knew it would be hot coming in, but honestly, you see the rubber that's being laid down on the racetrack, how that racing line is darker than it normally is elsewhere on the racetrack. That is grip, and you want to stay in that line.
Yeah, I don't think these guys should have too much of a problem. These guys really don't have enough power, I think, and they have enough downforce, and they don't have enough power to really kick the car out in a lot of places, so I think they should be fine for the most part. If anything, it'll be a little bit sketchy when they're in behind someone.
Yeah, another update that we missed is Will Roberts will be moving to Project 2 as well next season.
Jesus Christ, how many people are going to...
Everybody to Project 2.
It's Project 6 now.
So Jack Andrick, currently 16th on the board. Cohen Evans in the 17, comes across the line. What's he run? It was his warm-up lap here, so he'll lay down a time through turn 1. Now, the 90. This is a challenging corner here, Finian. You're going to be taking it about 4th gear, but passing opportunity, but it's very easy to slip up there. There's a lot of banking, about 9 degrees worth if I recall correctly. But if you make a mistake down there, there's a lot of runoff, but it's easy to get yourself into trouble.
Yeah, it really is. And it's, again, one of those trouble spots we're talking about that you guys have to keep out for, especially in traffic, too. In a lot of places, again, we talk about how high downforce this track is. Problem is, when you have such a high downforce track, the wake of the... I guess, I'm trying to think of how to word this. The way these guys go through the air, it's going to be much harder for the guys in behind them to follow them through those high downforce corners. And again, there's a lot of them, so I think we're going to see a decent amount of separation.
Well, Mitch Welker from last week to this week, pole again, a 125.652. That's 3/10, almost 4/10 quicker than second place Stephen Larkamp. John Poole slots himself into 3rd, bumps Zach Buchanan all the way back to 5th, who was on pole just a moment ago.
Yeah, and I was talking with Mitchell after Montreal, and he said he was really pissed.
We talked to him after the race,
yeah.
and he wasn't very happy.
Yeah.
He knew that he should have won at Sergio Villeneuve, and he didn't, and it wasn't his fault necessarily. It was a strategy that caught him out. Tonight, I don't see this devolving into a strategy race. This is going to be an all-out sprint from lap 1 to lap 47.
If there is a caution,
possible,
which is possible, I don't think we will, unless it's a really bad accident. That could potentially cause, that's essentially what happened in Montreal, that caused it to be a strategy race. So we'll have to see here. But yeah, he's got a vengeance. He wants to win this race to make up for that.
Yeah, I don't think he's willing to back down at all this time. Cohen Evans, rolling on through, has yet to lay down an official time, and he will, I don't know if he'll have time to finish this. 51 seconds.
He might barely.
I don't know. It's going to be awful close. Sixth gear, 180 miles an hour. That's 181 unassisted without the draft. We'll be seeing speeds maybe 190, closer to 200 in the draft.
Yeah, I was going to say, without the draft, they'd also have push to pass. I imagine the guys are definitely going to be using the push to pass down that straightaway.
So I don't think Evans is going to make it. Only 27 seconds left in the lap. Yeah, he won't be the time to let the start towards the tail of the field tonight.
So close, so close, but no cigar.
Mitchell Welker in the number 1 Project 2 car is going to start on pole tonight, provided that Woody Mahan doesn't go quicker. And he's not going to make it back either. So Mitchell Welker in the number 1 on pole again at a road course here in the Fuel Racetrack Designs IndyCar Series for the New York Grand Prix. 47 laps tonight. Take a look down at the 3.38 mile racetrack. The field getting ready to go racing this evening. Head on down. We'll go through our starting lineup here in just a moment. But again, our track conditions, about 116 degrees, Finian, so it's not cool by any stretch of the imagination. It's not going to be super grippy, but I imagine that, again, Watkins, when you look at this place, it looks simple. I mean, you take a look at the track map once again. It doesn't look that hard. It's pretty close to an oval, in all honesty. But it's challenging to be quick here. It's easy to drive. It's hard to be fast and to really get effective times. The slipstream's going to be a big deal tonight. And you're going to be aggressive on the start especially, because once you get people strung out and in the draft and you start breaking up the field, it's going to be very difficult to make up those big gaps in time. So, field rolling up onto the grid. Let's take a look at our starting lineup here tonight. On the front row, Mitchell Welker, the number 1, starting right alongside the 31 of Stephen Larkamp from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we saw Larkamp struggle at Montreal. Probably should have been up higher through the order. And then starting back in third, John Poole, the third, in the 23, and outside of him, Nicholas Johnson in the 28.
Starting in row number 3, Zach Buchanan, the Project 2 teammate, the number 40 from Canada, right alongside Cristobal Valenzuela in the number 3. They'll start 6th.
And back in 7th place, the 06 of Byron Daly, starting on the inside lane. And in 7th, outside of him, will be Liam Quinn in the 24 car.
Row number 5, in 9th, Kite Bommersbach trying to chase down the championship leader in his number 37, right alongside Danny Roberts in the number 41, who almost had it done at Montreal last week, just ran out of fuel.
Yeah, and then going back in 11th on the inside lane, Woody Mahan in the 8 car will be starting there, and outside of him in 12th, Andrew Wood.
Rodrigo Munoz in the 09 starts 13th, right alongside Matt Hollaba in the number 02.
Back in 15th, we got Will Roberts in the 39 from the Virginias, and then outside of him will be Jack Hendrick in the 9 from Texas.
17th and 18th, the row number 9, Victor Valley from Indiana in the number 7, Ben Fuller, also from Indiana in the number 55 in P18.
Rounding out your top 20 in 19 is going to be Mike Hurley in the 33 from Michigan, and then in 20th will be Liam Sheen in the 52 from the Midwest.
Couple more rows to work with here. Jared Dixon in the 22. He starts 21st tonight. Johnny Martin in the number 12 starts in 22nd. Another Indianian. Indiana man.
Well, Riley Thompson, who won at Montreal, is going to be starting in the 56, back in 23rd, and outside of him in 24th will be Cohen Evans in the 17.
Zach Passon in the number 91 in 25th, right alongside John Wilco in the number 62, and that should be pretty much everybody. There might be a few more cars tacked onto the end here. Nope, that looks like that's going to be it. So 26 cars tonight. Mitchell Welker on pole once again. I think this is his race to lose easily. But again, this race isn't so much about technique as it is about execution. And I think Mitchell Welker is definitely a technique kind of driver. Runs well at the courses that require a lot of finesse. This is not a finesse road course. This is an all-out, stop your pedal through the firewall and go get it. You have to be aggressive here to make time.
Yeah, you really do, because it's a fairly for the most part, it's a fairly easy layout. It's not the most complicated thing in the world, except for a few corners here and there. So, which like it doesn't make it easy to which doesn't make it easy to race.
Right.
So, and I think that's really going to be the big thing, especially with the draft in hand.
So, taking one last look at our track map again, you're going to notice the big omission of that back straightaway inner loop. A passing zone in a lot of cars, not necessarily the IR18, so it was removed for this layout. But you see the elevation change here, 110 feet from the lowest point to the highest point. And we head down into turn 6 right now. That's at the top of your screen, and that's where the drivers are heading down into. One of the more challenging courses, or turns on the course, and then heading down into turn 7. Another good passing opportunity down here in the toe. The braking zone is short, but you can take a couple different lines through here to kind of set yourself up for a pass.
Yeah, I imagine we're definitely going to see some guys play around with that throughout the race, trying to set up some runs down, I guess, really the straightaway on the boot? I'm not sure what to call this part of it.
I don't think there's no name, just a little straightaway between turns 7 and 8. But kind of humid out here as well, which again really won't be a huge factor today. Weather will be pretty constant and static, but looking down the straightaway here as we head towards turn 8, there's a lot of cars here, and a couple drivers didn't take the grid. Don Ronkel Jr. in the 00 and Zach Passon in the 91 did not make it to grid before the start of the race. I don't know if this is going to be chaos or if this will be calm, cool, and collected.
We'll have to see. Once these guys get through the first lap or two, I think that'll kind of set the tone for the rest of the race, but until then, we kind of don't know.
Final couple corners, turns 10 and 11. Turn 10 will pretty much be flat out in these cars. Maybe a slight lift just for security on entry. And heading into turn number 11, the final corner. This is a challenging turn.
Yeah, and you can see, too, that there's rubber put down on the curb on the outside lane. Every driver using up as much of the track as possible.
Yeah, don't drop your tires off there. Or you see on the right side of the screen how drivers say that little grass spot there. You don't want to hit that. That'll cause you some strife tonight. 47 laps. The New York Grand Prix, round 11 of the Fuel Racetrack Designs IndyCar Series is green, and we're racing at Watkins Glen.
Mitchell Welker immediately clearing himself of the leaders. John pulled to the inside of Stephen Larkamp in turn 1.
Whoa, there's going to be issues down here. That's the 33 of Hurley on the inside lane and to back way out of it to avoid a collision. I think we're all good as we climb up through the S's for the first time.
Yeah, it was really sketchy there, but these guys were able to make it through.
Zach Buchanan, the number 40, was 3 wide for a moment. There's still 3 wide, and there's the 3, and Cristobal Valenzuela up the middle. Gonna be dicey here as Byron Daly heads for the inside. This is not gonna work when they get down here into the carousel.
Well, they have a little bit more room to work with.
Oh, the big 41's gonna get clipped. Danny Roberts spins. Does he save it and keep it out of the wall? Right back down into traffic. He gets hit from behind, but we continue. Caution flies.
Yeah, it's caution for that incident.
Oh, there's another one up the road. Rodrigo Munoz is in it, and the 3, both teammates involved in this one after the caution flew. Trouble for Valenzuela and Munoz. The caution was actually for the 41 of Danny Roberts. Ooh. Okay, well, that was a little more frantic than I thought it was going to be. Let's go back and take a look at the Roberts incident real quick. But that was what I believe the caution was for. Let's go back and just take a look at how this all started. It was basically getting dicey here with Valenzuela in the middle, and 41 Roberts on the outside, and Byron Daly on the inside. There's not enough space for 3 cars, and Roberts did a spectacular job keeping it straight, and there might have been a little bit of contact. Oh yeah, didn't see who that was, but they got some.
Actually, that might have not been for him, because I think the other incident started by that time, so I'll have to check and see what happened to Valenzuela and Munoz.
No,
caution isn't out yet.
No, I don't know. That's a tough one, but they spun down. That caution would have been thrown so fast that this is what it was for. But, I don't know. Either way, it was quick thinking on the administrator's part.
I kind of want to take another look at what actually caused this.
We'll go in slow-mo. I think it takes a little bit easier to digest here. But actually, I think it was Valenzuela that got into his teammate. And so he gets into the 41 here. And we'll ride on board. And maybe the wing damage caused a loss of downforce, so I think he just goes down in here, just misjudges the braking zone.
Well, I don't know, because his wing, I don't think is damaged at this point.
Might not be.
I think it was fine.
And he just drives in here. The caution is already out. You see that.
Ah.
I think maybe his teammate slowing up for the yellow is what caught him by surprise. But let's go back a little bit farther and just ride on board Valenzuela as he was put in a 3 wide situation here on the back straightaway.
Yeah, I would say probably should not have gone for this gap.
Yeah, he backed out of this one, and he got split 3 wide after this.
Oh. Okay.
So he didn't really force his way in here. He just kind of got unlucky. And then his big understeer, no air to deal with there in the middle. Throttles back up and wait for the caution light, and caution light is on now. And tags his teammate, and they both go into the barrier. And it was just unfortunate for them to get caught up in this. Here's one last look at this before we head back live. Mitchell Welker still your leader. Clips, and again, the caution's out, so the 09 probably was on the binders slowing down for that. And just tags the 3. And they should be able to fix this in the pits pretty easily. I don't think these guys will have retirements.
Only thing is that the 3's got some damage to both the floor and the rear part of the side pod.
Jumping back live now, and there's definitely some significant damage. And that will hurt here at this racetrack.
And that you can't really fix. So you can, but you can't replace it. And I'm not sure about Munoz, but his car seems to be in a bit of a better shape than his teammate.
Yeah, can't really. I don't think there's a whole lot of damage to that floor.
Yeah, I don't see anything to the side pod, at least from this angle.
So you might have been able to escape that. So Mitchell Welker leads this race. The safety car out on the racetrack on lap number 1 for the collision down in turn number 5. And I guess we'll get another chance. Well, restart now. Single file. How does this change the aggression? I mean, we saw almost 4 wide getting down into turn 1. How crazy is it going to be on the restart?
I think if anything, we'll see it maybe 2 wide if someone doesn't really get a good enough restart. Because these guys are going to be starting. I imagine Welker's going to go as soon as he can just to kind of get everyone separated out. But the field's going to be a lot more dispersed by the time they get even to turn 1. And then really, you'll see some moves on the back straightaway, again, because they're single file. So guys will try to make a move double file into the carousel. But other than that, I think it'll be a little less hectic.
Couple cars peeling off into the pits in the background.
Yeah, this is not really gonna change anything strategy-wise. Guys can really only go 16, 17 laps each if you really stretch it.
Yeah, Will Roberts is one of them. I actually have a whole bunch of takers at the back of the field. Just might as well, right? I mean, if you're not gonna lose a whole lot of track position, no harm in doing it. Will Roberts was actually off course a little bit in his 39 at the time of that caution. I think he was trying to escape all the chaos and was in the grass. I'm not sure if he got some underfloor damage there. But he will return back to the racetrack. A couple more cars rolling back out as they climb the S's here. I love this racetrack.
I know you love this racetrack. we literally have, right behind Kyle's monitor, there's a flag with Watkins Glen, and also with a bunch of driver signatures, and also wooden, what would you say?
Track outline? 3D track map?
Yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah, so right in behind us. So yeah, he really likes this track.
Yeah, it's, you know, how it goes. You have a track you like. You can't separate yourself from the idea of having a rescan. You bother iRacing so much that they almost ban you from the forums for talking about it so much. Oh man. So the other thing is that these cautions, they take a little bit of a time around here, almost 3 minutes a lap, actually more than 3 minutes a lap. So we're going to use up a couple laps here, and this 47-lap New York Grand Prix is now going to be about a 42-lap Grand Prix, well, when things are all said and done.
Should get the green next time by.
Yeah, so Mitch Welker is so frustrated right now because he's been so talented at these road courses. Remember back to the Roval, had a shot to win that race, as did Zach Buchanan. Mitchell Welker should have won at Montreal a few weeks ago, and just whether it's full course yellows or whether it's strategy or whether it's taking himself out, he just can't get the consistency he needs to win one of these things. And you could hear the dejection in his voice in his interview last week after finishing 5th at Montreal. Any other week, 5th would be a great finish for this team, but at road courses, they expect to win. And they will not take anything other than a win tonight. They got a couple drivers that can do it, including the 28 of Nicholas Johnson, who is now on their team. Zach Buchanan in the number 40 sits 5th right now. He started in 5th, and after all that chaos, he's going to be in 5th for the restart. Yeah,
I think he's going to be able to also take a sigh of relief, because that was a really sketchy situation that he was in. They still were barely sorted out by the time they got out of the carousel. So this started going to be a lot more orderly, and yeah, I think Welker not going to probably didn't want that caution to come out, because he actually took off from the 31 and the 23 as they were side by side for the first part of that lap. So now they're going to be right in behind him, but we are starting single file, so we'll have to see here.
So Kai Bommersbach in the 37 is second in the points walking into the night, 36 points back from John Poole. Right now, John Poole is in 3rd, and this is not a track that I would have thought John Poole would have success at. He seems like the ovals have been really his bread and butter, but right now, John Poole had a really solid start tonight, held on to 3rd. I'm curious to see how he finishes, and had a decent run started at Montreal before getting caught up in a collision. So this is a dangerous driver, because again, he lost a lot of his points lead after that collision last week, but he could really defend well, because I do think that he has been running better than Bommersbach at the ovals, which is got the majority of the races we have left.
Well, the guys were getting double filed up for a second. I was like, I was gonna say, oh boy.
Oh man, I don't think we want that, do we?
No, these things really not really meant to start double file, at least for restarts. NASCAR made perfect sense to do that. It's kind of crazy because to think that there was a time when they did.
Double file restarts are so much better.
Yeah.
I wish every series would do it. The problem is that they don't do it because it's literally just for excitement and creates so much more carnage that it's just not.
It works in NASCAR. I don't think it'll work in any other series. As far as restarts,
it'd be more exciting if you like crashes.
Yeah,
the teams don't like crashes though.
No. Which is exactly why NASCAR did it.
And exactly why IndyCar and F1 don't do that.
Yeah.
But I like having full course yellows on road courses. It breaks it up. Now, typically in fuel, the only times they ever really get thrown is towards the start of races. Once we get rolling, they typically don't fly quite as much. But they still can come out later.
Yeah, and I really wish, too, what they would add for iRacing is tire compounds. I really hope we get that soon. Sooner rather than later, because that would...
Soon.
Yeah. Because that's one of those things that would really add some strategy. Because you imagine, these guys would start in IndyCar. It's only option and prime, which is basically a softer tire and a harder tire. So you have guys starting on a softer tire, and maybe they think, or a harder tire, and a caution comes out. They might want to come back into the pits and change the tire because here's a good option, a good chance to do so.
I just want, what I'm begging for, and I know that most people don't really care about this, but rain.
No, I want the rain.
Well, I know a lot of people want it, but realistically, when we get it, everyone's going to hate it. But, I think it adds something that we haven't seen in iRacing in a long time, which is really true dynamicism. I mean, I know that the track changes over time, but you don't really get to see people exploring for grip in different places. I know that the track gets rubbered in, but really, the line is the line around here. It doesn't change. When it rains, though, and the way that iRacing, I trust when they model this, that you're going to be searching for grip every single lap, and it's not going to be in the same place every time around, and you're going to see people that learn a lot quicker, and you're going to have people that specialize in rain. And I think a guy like Mitchell Welker is going to do very well when that comes.
Only thing is I'm going to say RIP people's computers, because rendering all that is going to be, yikes, that's going to take a lot.
Yep.
A lot of resources.
I'm not looking forward to having to stream a 60-car field with rain grid like looking at you.
That's also another thing, too. Imagine the 60-car field spray.
Oh,
be able to
boy.
see anything.
Yeah. So field lining up for the restart here. Mitch Welker, Larkamp, and Poole. Your top three is untouched from the start of the race. And we just essentially lost 5 laps to an early collision down in turns 5 and 6. The 41 spun off, which is what triggered the yellow within the 3 and 09. The teammates, Valenzuela and Munoz, got together after the yellow flag flew. The time for the restart, we've got 26 of our 26 starters still on the lead lap, rolling and without significant damage. So still a lot of racing left to go, about an hour's worth of racing if we run green to the end from here. Pace car is going to peel off and leave the field in the hands of Project 2 driver Mitch Welker. Pace car is off. Lap number 5 will be the restart. Green flag back in the air here in Watkins Glen.
A great start for the leaders. John Poole with a little bit of a run on Larkamp. Can't really do anything, but behind the top 5, 3 wide, Kind Bommersbach to the inside.
Oh, their big crash down in turn 1. Horrible collision. The 39 of Will Roberts massively upside down and going to be crawling away.
That car is done.
That car is destroyed. Meanwhile, for second place, Larkamp under attack from John Poole. We'll go back and look at that later tonight if we don't get an opportunity. We'll check it out at the end of the race. But Larkamp on the outside of Mitch Welker for the lead down into the carousel.
Oh, and Welker almost threw it back up the inside because Larkamp left the door open with that door closed, and he had to back off. And there you see with the draft and maybe some push pass, Larkamp was able to get the spot. That's how effective that draft is down that straightaway.
Yeah, Welker's not going to be satisfied running in second, though. He's going to try to get back by Larkamp as fast as he can, but he's got John Poole all over him, the toe in the boot. Such a struggle through here to get that car rotated. He does a good job, sets himself up for second. Liam Quinn in the 24, right behind Bommersbach in the 37.
Back up for the lead. Welker back to the inside. Larkamp got a great run down this little short chute in the boot.
I have to imagine there's a little bit of push pass there to get that big of a run, but he's gotten the lead back, and at a very pivotal time of the race, get out front and drive away while you still can.
Yeah, this is going to be the tough part. We come to the front straightaway and then also leading up to the back straightaway as well is going to be a big run. We'll see if Larkamp can get that spot back or if even John Poole can stick his nose in.
Like a big snake. Whoa, car off in the background. Mike Hurley in the 33 completely missed the corner.
Yeah, went into the barrier hard. I think that might be a retirement for him.
Yep, and so he'll return back to the pits. Mitch Welker hangs on to the lead. They climb the S's, lap number 6 now, and he's starting to gain a little bit of ground. But now we're going to see half a second. Is that a small enough gap for Larkamp to close in on the straightaway here?
No, I don't think so. I think he might close it down to 3/10, maybe 2/10. I don't think it's going to be enough to make a pass. He's actually starting to tack out.
186 miles an hour down into turn number 5.
These things are only really geared for around 188 the setup they're running.
Yep. Victor Valley and Cohen Evans, they've had an issue, and I think they're destroyed, and got to go back and see what caused these guys to have an issue. I think these are the guys who are involved in the previous wreck, so we're not going to go back and watch that. But Larkamp has closed right back up to Welker. John Poole in 3rd. Riley Thompson, remember, he started at the tail of the field. Look where he is now, up to 14th.
Giving the restart also helped him quite a bit. Got cut out on the initial start. Was able to make some slow progress up the grid. Unfortunately, I would have liked to see him be, if he was able to qualify better, start up further.
Whoa, Byron Daly, big slide at a turn number 9.
Yeah, that's a dangerous corner, turn 9. Completely flat. Catches a lot of these guys off guard. Got Daly off guard.
Yeah, the high track temp is not going to help that situation either. Whoa, car, was that Halaba in the 0-2 that might have gotten? No, it was the blue car. Way behind. They just got the tire barrier out at turn number 11. So the gap is a little, bit of a bobble for Andrick. Pulls back on course, and he needs the pavement there quicker. So for the lead, Larkamp actually did close in a little bit that lap. And now he's going to be 3/10 back, and the weaving starts on the back straightaway.
Indeed it does. He's going to gain a lot of time here. Not enough to make a pass, but still gaining time on Welker.
Well, it's going to keep the lead close. Really, yeah. Welker doesn't have any breathing room, and that's the important thing. It's going to keep him on his toes, and he cannot afford to make a single mistake. You see, Buchanan just clipped the grass there out at turn 5.
Buchanan out pushing, also trying to get past Johnson and Poole.
Here's your front dozen or so.
Yeah, everyone also really close together.
Yeah,
a lot closer than I thought it was.
Bit of a gap behind Danny Roberts. Back. Oh, Munoz is around again. Or actually, that's the 3 of Valenzuela. Apologize. Yeah, oh, Mitch Welker, he spun out. Caution, big crash for the 1.
Oh, and he's out.
Oh.
Race over for the 1 car.
And heartbreak again. Now, was there contact potentially? As we pulled away to watch the spin behind him, and Welker just crashed again. Was he taken out, or did he just crash?
I mean, basically, he was taken out. Larkamp just missed the corner. Oh, clipped the curb.
Oh, just spun it out, and then he's going to get hit from behind. And that was enough. Wow.
And actually, so Larkamp has damage to his car as well.
Now let's run on board with Larkamp. The caution has come out again. You see him just clip this curve right here on the right, and it unsettles the car. He gets back on throttle before it's... Oh, man. I don't think Larkamp has a lot of damage.
No, I actually think he net-coded through that. Unfortunately, didn't net-code through Welker. And so, gave him a lot of damage.
So while all this was happening, we were watching Valenzuela in the 3. So he had his own issue down in turn 6. Again with his teammate.
I was running him behind, just got loose.
Yeah, he almost ran into him again and had to jump on the binders. And while all that was happening, it was Welker up the road. And then as we pulled away to watch the replay, he actually ended up making it worse here. You're going to see in just a moment.
No way in hell he could have fixed that car.
It was night over already, but you're going to see right here, he's going to clip the grass and send it right into the fence and finish it off. What a shame. It hurts. It just hurts to watch, Finney, because you know that he was good enough to win this race again tonight, as he has been in several races the last few weeks.
I'm surprised he made a mistake like that. Yeah. It's too much gas and
it was just where he got hit too. That was really I mean, he didn't get hit in a place that was fixable. He got in right rear suspension, and that was all she wrote for the number 1. So caution out for the 2nd time today. Dramatic circumstances. Actually, while we're here and under yellow, it's going to take a little while. So let's go back and watch the restart accident that happened with Will Roberts here. We didn't really get a good chance to look at that. And so here is what happened to Roberts. And you're going to see him. He's on the inside lane. And I think Cohen Evans is going to get hit from behind here. We're closing in on Johnny Martin. He's going to get hit from behind. Is that Danny Roberts? Yes, it is. And Will Roberts just spins out, and it was 2 separate collisions. Wow, look at that hit.
It went flying over the 7. Victor Valley.
Wow. There's Evan Adams that just scraped on by. And hearing it was hardware, a stutter for Mitch Welker. Oh. And that's the worst when it's something you can't control either. You know, it's like you think you have this race in the bag, and then the hardware keeps you from doing it. But you see, whoop,
Roberts was in the middle of that. Was able to avoid.
Yeah, then we'll ride on board with Johnny Martin. He had a mirror full of this.
Whoa.
Oh. And backed it into the wall. That's what did the damage for the 12th. So, in 8 laps, we've taken out 4 cars, and they're done for the night, which we're already on a Montreal-like attrition right here early in the going.
Yeah, only got 20 cars left running to come into the pits, and this is going to get a little interesting here.
Yeah, so now, we said earlier that it wouldn't be an issue with the strategy, but now I'm starting to wonder. Just a little bit.
So again, you can go around 17 laps with some saving. So it's gonna be close. I still think you're gonna have to make another stop. But we're gonna get the restart maybe at around lap 36, with 36 to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'll be a long yellow.
and from our by the way, thanks to Matt Halva, he gave us this information from the fuel, so thanks to him. I forgot to say thank you, but I was gonna message him after. So he's telling us that with 18, if you do a lot of fuel saving, you can go 18 laps. And we're going to have 36 to go.
Oh my goodness.
So it's going to be close. It's going to be really, really close.
This wasn't supposed to be a strategy race.
No.
And this is shaping up to be exactly like Montreal. 2 cautions early, and then it was a 2-stopper from there. Or a 1-stopper, rather, from that restart. So, well, give me a couple more minutes till we get going back green here again. Again, Watkins Glen, one of the older scans in iRacing, really needs some attention.
Oh, it really does.
We were looking at Dave Fitzgerald was sharing a screenshot from the stream from last night, the DCS CCA at Lime Rock, and it was really pretty. And I was thinking,
did
I was
you do like some editing?
No. It was right off the stream. And Lime Rock, they redid the armco there with the 3D model from Le Mans, and here we just have whatever that is.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's literally it's a wall that looks like armco.
Yeah,
but it's straight up just a wall with a texture on it.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, from a side angle, it doesn't look too bad, but you go to some other angles, and
it's like you see the top of the wall, it's armco.
It's just missing, especially look from above, it's just missing ambiance.
Yeah, no, it really does. It does not look good. To say the least.
Which is such a shame, because this...
The funny thing, too, is it's actually amazing how much of that space is empty. They probably would put more stuff there now. Because again, this track was...
point,
yeah, because this track was designed back when computers were maybe
it was also
a fourth of the power that ours is running right now.
We have to remember, I mean, that's true, but we also have to remember what year this track was scanned in. This track was scanned in 2007.
Yeah.
And at that time, you see, turn 6 right in the middle of your screen, turn 10 in this layout, right in the middle of your screen, there's a massive grandstand there now.
Yeah.
Also, at the exit of turn 11, massive grandstand there. Down in turn 1, 2 massive grandstands. Yeah. This track has changed so much, and so much has been added, so much on the interior has been changed to accommodate the vast numbers of fans that have been coming the last couple of years.
Yeah.
This track is like literally a shell of its current self.
And
right?
it does look like a really, like again, not to kind of diss it, but it looks like a real proper road course now, like one.
Oh, it's beautiful now. Yeah. I mean, the amount of
comparison to how it was a few years ago.
The amount of money that ISC put into this racetrack to make it one of the most beautiful tracks in the country is unbelievable. And actually, there was a time during the mid '80s that Watkins Glen actually shut down. It wasn't a thing after the Grand Prix left. NASCAR left as well during this period, and they shut it down. They put it back together, and it was run kind of like a. What's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like a club circuit for the majority of the late 80s and early 90s. And up until the early 2000s, it really there wasn't a whole lot of infrastructure at all here. They played with a couple different layouts, and they eventually settled on the current one, and here we are now. And of course, in 2019, it looks a whole lot different than it did in 2007.
Yeah, the funny thing, actually, you mentioned that if you want to ride on board with the nose of our camp here, it's coming down to out of turn 1. This used to be the old start finish, actually.
The start finish straight, and actually,
I thought they had it. I thought they had it.
They don't. But now, on driver's right before this, or right after this, right here.
Yeah.
You actually see the line.
Yeah.
That is the old start finish line, and they actually found the old starter stand in a barn back in 2014. They lost it. They didn't know that they even had it on the property. Yeah. And they put it back up in, I think, 2014, 2015. And so now the old starter stand is back between turns 1 and turn 2.
Yeah. Not used at all, I don't think.
I think it'd be a spectacular idea as a really cool throwback thing to start the race between turns 1 and 2. It'd be a disaster, but it'd be really cool to watch.
It'd be cool. 1 year.
Just once.
Yeah.
Like the 50th anniversary of NASCAR coming back, like 2036 or whatever it is.
I was gonna say it'd be cool if they had for IndyCar if IndyCar does come back. I think it would make more sense for them.
I think Roger Penske purchasing IndyCar makes that a really high possibility.
Yeah, dude, I'm so excited for that. Like the opportunities, like Roger Penske, he's like ready to do stuff. He was proposing like a 24-hour race at Indianapolis. He's open to the idea of F1 coming back to them, which with the Miami deal falling through, the new one falling through. I think that's going to be more and more likely, and I'm really excited because IndyCar is on the rise again in this country, and especially with him, he's ready to do stuff with it.
I don't know. I've always been a NASCAR fan at heart, but after watching IMSA and IndyCar kind of reclaim a lot of the fan base that it missed for, frankly, the middle of the 2000s, it's good to see that the road racing in America is at least back on somewhat stable ground, and IndyCar included, because I don't think you can really call IndyCar much of an oval series anymore.
No.
I know a lot of people would like it to be an oval series. I would like it to be more ovals.
Yeah.
I think everybody would. But realistically, there are some physics problems that need to get solved before we can go back to some of the places that we go to. I don't think it's worth killing race car drivers over. Is it, again, the drivers are the ones that assume that risk, and they've said that, maybe this is something we shouldn't be doing. I don't think it's the tracks, I think it's the fencing. I think that's what they need to work on. Yeah. It's a hard problem to solve, and it's not going to be a cheap problem to solve either. But road courses, however, don't have that. Well, I mean, they do. I mean, you look at Houston 2014 with Dario Franchitti. It's not an unheard of problem, and I think Watkins Glen has some very glaring safety issues in that regard as well, but certainly not as bad as Pocono.
Yeah, and it really also is nice too the fact that considering both the sports car series America and the IndyCar reunited from splits too, I think was the big thing as well.
And stronger for coming back together. Coming back to the restart, Stephen Larkamp, Nicholas Johnston, Zach Buchanan, Liam Quinn, and Kite Bommersbach are your top 5. Then it's Andrew Wood, Byron Daly, Riley Thompson up inside the top 10 after starting 23rd tonight. Lap number 11 is the restart. 55 minutes of racing remaining. Pace car is off. The sun is out at Watkins Glen. Green flag flies, racing again. Look at Byron Daly popping out of line, trying to grab some spots here. Couple shuffling cars in the mid-pack. We're going to be standing offline into turn 1.
Guy Bommersbach as well looking to the inside of Liam Quinn. Riley Thompson out of line. He's been making up some really big moves up inside the top 8. These restarts have really been helping him out.
Yeah, he's going to grab another couple spots here on the restart. If he can just build a run on the back straight, Hollabaugh pops out of line, takes a look here, but up for the lead, it's Stephen Larkamp, who's got a half a second advantage over Nicholas Johnston, the brand new Project 2 driver. Then it's Zach Buchanan. In the background, you see the 17 of Cohen Evans. He's side by side with Ben Fuller in the 55 as we head down into the carousel.
Yeah, Buchanan sitting behind Johnson, teammates planning on working together here, trying to chase down Larkamp rather than fight amongst themselves.
Cohen Evans on the inside of the 55 of Ben Fuller into turn 6. Everyone tiptoeing through here.
Yeah, Evans is lucky he's able to repair that car and get back up here with the leaders. He's currently at 13th.
Andrew Wood, another driver that started a little bit deeper in the field, 12th up to 6th place, so he's climbing forward.
And also of note, too, I didn't really get a chance to mention it, but the top 9 are all drivers that stayed out. Everyone else has come in behind. They could potentially make it. They could.
On one more stop.
It's a stretch.
On one more stop.
Yeah, but they could potentially.
All right, so restart clean this time. I think we've made it through. Nice clean lap after the restart. It's Larkamp out front by 0.7 of a second. And Zach Buchanan overtaken for 3rd. And in the background, you see the 55 of Ben Fuller. Take a look to the inside of Christopher Valenzuela, who's had a troubled start to tonight's event.
Yeah, it really has not gone his way. And loses the spot to Ben Fuller, goes back to the 12. He's got John Poole in behind him. And Poole trying to make up some spots because Bommersbach is up ahead of him in 7th. He's got the run here. Poole trying to make a pass.
And Poole trying to protect that points lead. It's a lot smaller than it was the week prior. Pops out of line.
Get up ahead. There you see Bommersbach moving to the inside of Daly into the carousel. Couldn't get the move done. But that 37 is definitely moving up the order. Has the potential to move up the order.
Into turn 6 now. Valenzuela, John Poole.
Oh, no! The points leader
leader
in
crashed.
the wall.
Down in turn number 6, just like that. Done for the night is John Poole. And for Valenzuela, turn 6 has been a trouble spot. The third time tonight he's had an accident, and this time it takes out the points leader. Oh.
And he's going to lose it, no doubt about it, tonight.
Look at this. Is going to be a dramatic accident. Here's a look at it. And just snaps under braking, and watch what happens to the 23 of John Poole, who is leading the points, and he will certainly lose the points lead if Bommersbach even finishes the event. Just going to snap loose right here, middle of the corner, and just tips up the 23, and he's going to go straight into the tire barrier. What a frustrating end of the night for him. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt bad.
This is heartbreaking.
Danny Roberts hits pit lane in the 41. Not exactly sure what that's for.
I think might be from here on out. 34 laps. Can make it.
So can make it on one more stop after this.
I would have thought of splitting it up, but he's trying a different strategy. We got Mike Hurley around. This is after turn 1.
Yeah, bottom of turn 2 right now, right in the middle of the racetrack, but no one else behind him to get involved. Let's go back quickly and take a look at how this one started. This is actually all the way from turn 1. Going back live, Zach Buchanan's had issues, and he's upside down.
It has all gone wrong for Project 2.
Oh my goodness. No one can catch a break tonight, Finian. I don't know what it is.
Everyone's got a target on them.
Was there contact here? Ooh.
Oh!
Horrible crash for Buchanan. And he got pretty much knocked off course here by the 24, Liam Quinn. Does he bobble on the curve? What an impact.
Yeah, he gave Quinn enough space. Quinn, I think, panicked because I think the curbing there. So he moved just a little bit right into Buchanan. Not entirely Quinn's fault, but more on his part. Yeah. Oh, man.
What an impact. And the bad luck continues for Project 2 at the tracks that they are so capable of winning at. They will not get the job done today, at least not with those two drivers. Nicholas Johnson closes in from second, the new driver on the team.
I was going to say, he's carrying the banner now by himself, so let's see if he can take it to victory lane. He's so close. That's going to help Bommersbach. That puts him up into 6th.
Wow. Bommersbach is having a good night right now, looking in the mirror and seeing cars wrecked out.
And all Bommersbach has to do is finish 14th, and he'll take the points lead tonight.
For the lead, look at, there's the gap. Larkamp has it by 0.2 of a second over Nicholas Johnson, who closes in, trying to get this lead away from the 31. Bommersbach tucked in behind Riley Thompson. Thompson up to 6th place after starting 23rd. The Montreal winner could even get another one here tonight. He's certainly trending upward.
Yeah, definitely for Bommersbach, I think the goal now just finish the race. Don't push the issue. If anything, you're looking to finish in the top 8 pretty solidly. So just try to finish this race, and you're going to have yourself a points lead and get yourself a big points gain. Don't wreck yourself, because he's been given a great opportunity now.
Larkamp has the lead, 3/4 of a second over Nicholas Johnson. Liam Quinn in 3rd. Then it's Andrew Wood, Byron Daly, the rest of your top 5. We have not seen the leader be able to break away from the draft yet, Finian.
I was going to say, Johnson's been keeping him honest. You're sticking him behind him around half a second, so Larkamp can't be easy at all. He has to continue to push, especially with the straightaway coming up that Johnson's going to get a massive run on him. I don't think it's close enough to make a pass, but again, just keep him close.
Here comes Byron Daly to the inside of Andrew Wood.
Oh yeah, clears him.
Nice pass. That's going to leave Riley Thompson an opportunity to grab a spot up for the S's, and he'll drive right on through.
Aggressive pass from the 56. Might see another one here. He's got a huge run on Daly. That's definitely pushed the pass.
Wow, here he comes to the outside. Riley Thompson, the winner from Montreal, trying to get up into the top 4, and he will do it, but can he clear Byron Daly? It's going to be challenging on the outside.
That's how much that extra horsepower is worth.
Got it done. Top spot, only 0.2 of a second. How much aero push is Nicholas Johnson dealing with, if any?
I think he's dealing with a bit of it, and I think that's where we're seeing him struggle a bit right behind Larkamp, but I think in around that half a second mark, I think he's starting to get some cleaner air to work with, but he's so far so good.
Now you have to manage your push to pass as if it's your most valuable resource right now. More than water, more than food, more than shelter, that push to pass button, you have to be very, very cautious with it to not overuse it before the end of the season.
Yeah, you only get 10 uses over the course of 47 laps, and once you activate it, it activates for I think about 20 seconds until you hit the brakes. So that's all you got to use with it. It's not seconds like the newer system, so you have to keep track of how many times you use it. I can't imagine Johnson's really going to use any of it here, because I think taking the lead away now is going to be I guess pointless.
Andrew Wood way wide into turn 11, almost got into the fence, but he stays off it. Johnston, that time through, was 0.2 faster than Larkamp and closes the gap a little bit. But Riley Thompson, he's gone around in turn 1.
Oh.
Gets back rolling. I think he's got no damage.
Yeah, he's driving just a simple loop, but that's unfortunate because he's having a fantastic run.
Yeah, I don't dare pull away as we got the leader's nose to tail and back straightaway to the outside. Goes Nicholas Johnson. Will he use push to pass to get by the leader? Around the outside and gets the job done. Power move for Johnston.
I think that was actually just pure draft because he was so close, was able to get a good enough run.
For the lead complete now, Ben Fuller has got a couple hungry drivers behind him. Riley Thompson in the 56, after just looping it around in turn 1, is going to be hungry to get those spots back. And right behind him, Rodrigo Munoz and Cohen Evans, who were both involved in collisions earlier tonight.
They've been, these cars have been leading around quite a bit. Fortunately, they were able to do better.
We don't want people getting their stuff fixed.
No.
Oh. That'd be a shame to have more cars running.
That'd be NASCAR. That's NASCAR.
5-minute clock starts now. So Johnson right now has led 1 lap. Stephen Larkamp behind him has led 9. And Johnson's actually starting to pull a bit of a gap here. 0.6 of a second. Now, will Larkamp be able to close? I don't think he will. Johnson's really setting a quick pace up here.
Yeah,
in front of the
he's
field
already cleared him by a second. Now Larkamp's starting to get out of the draft range. So I'll be a little bit worried if I was a 31 here. Johnson's looking really quick and out in clean air.
Other battles that have kind of fizzled for now. The one with Riley Thompson and Ben Fuller. I don't know if Thompson really has any damage to speak of. It doesn't look like it, but he has not gotten by Ben Fuller as quick as I would have thought. So maybe there's still some work to do on that car. Behind him, Rodrigo Munoz and Cohen Evans, nose to tail. This is a battle for 10th. Long way to go. 30 laps to go next time by. And the only other driver that can make it on one more stop is at least that we know of, is the 41 of Danny Roberts. He's on a mission all on his own. The strategy is way back into the lead here and potentially win this race. So he has to go approximately, 17 laps on each? He pitted with 34 to go. 17 laps on each tank. Should be able to do that.
He's going to have to pretty much run it dry.
Andrew Wood, Kite Bommersbach engaged in a duel for 5th place right now. Bommersbach slung in behind the wake of the 32.
I can kick up just a little bit on entry, pushing hard.
The iRacing you can drive surprisingly sideways for an open wheel car. Typically they kind of snap, and they do, but this car you can let the rear end hang out a little bit if you're careful.
Yeah, no, these cars are really, they did a really good job improving these cars on the road courses. Oval, a bit debatable, but...
Yep. Matt Hollabaugh in the 0-2 comes on down. I'd imagine this is his second to last stop, just setting himself up for the end of the race. Andrew Wood and Bommersbach side by side down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and you see Wood just getting out to the right, trying not to give Bommersbach an inch, but here they come up for the carousel here. He's got the preferred lane on the inside, and Bommersbach has to let him go.
Again, Kite does not need to be aggressive tonight.
No.
He's got the points lead as it is, as long as he just finishes where he is. A bit of a bobble there down through turn 6.
With the curbing, you want to be careful with that in some places.
Again, the curbs here are forgiving in some places and really unforgiving in others. The flat white FIA-style curbing is all fair game in most places on the racetrack. The narrow and tall black and white striped curbing is a little bit scarier.
You also got to watch through using the curbing on some of the faster corners because you're putting the car in such a position where you're using up as much grip on the tires and the downforce as possible. If you lose the grip on the tires going at such a high speed, you're going to lose traction and go sliding around. I think we've seen a lot of guys get caught up by that.
Yeah, another curb to watch out for, the turn 1 exit curb. You can actually high center your car on that one. It's a little bit taller than it looks. So Johnson's broken out to a 0.8 of a second lead and was a little bit faster than Larkamp, so continues to extend that gap.
Yeah, it's not been closing, and actually Liam Quinn in behind Larkamp is catching up for second place.
Yeah, half a second back. We'll go there. I was going to go there a little bit later, but he's closing in so quick.
Gonna big run on Larkham. I don't think we'll be able to make it past this time by, but definitely the next 3 laps is 24 is going to be a threat for the 31.
24 just dives so much harder into the corner. Munoz and Evans, they're side by side, and Cohen Evans has gotten around Rodrigo Munoz for 9th place.
Feel a little bit spread out for the most part, especially our leaders. First, second, and third have broken away from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, but this isn't, I mean, we're not done yet. I mean, there's a long way to go. There's a lot of strategy left to go. So the field is strung out just a little bit, but I think this is good to let everyone kind of get into their head what they need to do, how they need to approach this race from a strategy standpoint, because this is not as straightforward as it was when we dropped the green flag in lap number 1. With the couple of cautions have really thrown this race kind of into disarray. I don't really know if anybody knows what's going on right now, other than the 41, who pretty much knows he's set on one more stop, and I think is the car potentially to beat.
Yeah,
the other car I watch out for is Matt Hollaba in the 0-2. He's also on a one-stop to the end strategy.
Yeah, and honestly, say for Roberts too, not sure about Hollaba, but definitely for Roberts, I think it's a smart decision, because I think the reason he did that is to get himself in some clean air.
You know who else popped into pits? Riley Thompson right now from 4th spot comes on in. Or actually, I think he's a little bit farther back from 6th spot. And into the box he goes.
Yeah, this is his first stop of the race.
For 2nd, Liam Quinn to the outside of Larkham.
And just going to zoom on by. Definitely pushed past him to 24.
He actually closed in on the leader as well. It's about half that gap. And Bommersbach and Andrew Wood. Finally, Bommersbach gets it done into the carousel and moves himself up into 5th. So Liam Quinn right now, last time by, was 4/10 faster than the leader. And his best lap time is one of the best of the race. So the 24 is on the move right now.
I think Johnson's going to get worried here. I think Larkin might drift a little bit further back, but this 24 is going to be all over Johnson now.
So what do you do if you're Johnson? I mean, you know what your fuel situation is. Do you pit and try to negate this advantage, or do you just let Liam Quinn sit behind you and maybe try to spoil his air a little bit more?
Honestly, I kind of don't really know. If anything, I think it should keep Quinn in behind him, because the slower, if he's in behind him,
Quinn's going to peel off, and I think Quinn knows that. Yeah. He's going to peel off and come down and get his tires and fuel. Larkamp's going to follow, as does Byron Daly. Bommersbach. Andrew Wood's going to stay out, and so will Ben Fuller.
Yeah, a lot of the leaders, I think they're running close on their tanks. I think Johnson might be able to go another lap or two with the 2 cautions we had earlier in this race.
So a couple of the front runners down into pit lane. So Johnson now clear and free to run a couple laps up front.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where Danny Roberts is going to kind of fall out in line. I think he's coming through the final.
Oh, no, he's actually way back here. His pit stop was 22 seconds. Maybe got a speeding penalty on pit lane.
I was going to say, I would have thought he'd been a lot closer.
Yeah, that's going to hurt him. Matt Hollaba, however, it's going to be a little closer now. The other drivers are back out on course, though, so it's going to turn out to be Liam Quinn that leads that brigade out of the pit lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, so for Roberts, that's not going to really work out at all with that speeding penalty.
No, it's going to put him in a bad position, actually. See Byron Daly and Cristobal Valenzuela. That's for 10th spot. They've completed that maneuver. For 4th, Cohen Evans and Rodrigo Munoz. This is for position. And Munoz, again, started the night, spun around off the nose of his teammate down in turn 6, has recovered quite nicely.
He is. He's making a dive in behind Cohen Evans. Might be able to make a move that can keep this gap. Slipping up a little bit out of the exit on the boot. That's one of the trickiest parts of the course, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, that is such a challenging corner because it's so flat.
Andrew Wood and Nicholas Johnson are into the pits. Ben Fuller going to stay out.
Yeah, so our leader comes on in.
This is all the drivers that have not yet made a stop this race.
Look at the average speeds, 141 miles an hour.
On a road course.
That's insane how fast they're going right now around here.
Oh, Johnson overshot his pit stall a little bit. That's going to cost him.
It'll cost him a little bit. Shouldn't be too big of a deal.
Well, when you consider that Quinn was right in behind him and got some fresher tires.
It'll definitely position swap. I don't know how much track position will be worth, though. Jared Dixon in the 22 has got Hollaba all over him. And we had Hollaba as another driver that pit earlier in this run. And Dixon goes a little defensive down into 1, but let Hollaba around the outside.
Back for between Nicholas Johnson and Larkamp and Quinn. So Johnson's going to come out in behind Quinn. He's going to keep fairly close, but definitely that, I think...
Quinn, the problem was Quinn was faster before the pit stop, so he might be able to just drive away now.
Puts Johnson on the back foot.
So Liam Quinn will cycle out to be the leader in all this. Valenzuela hits pit lane, he's on and off.
You're looking at the battle for fourth between Andrick and Mahan.
Andrick started this night back in 16th, has kind of avoided most of the carnage and collisions and has worked his way into fourth. Again, some pit stop strategy kind of making this look a little bit more of a climb than it actually is, but still, I think a pretty solid night. And again, struggled at Montreal because he got kind of wrecked out there down in turn 10, but trying to turn some things around tonight. Rodrigo Munoz hits pit lane. And right about halfway, next time by here, Finian.
Yeah, race started to really fly by now that we've gotten a green flag running. We're leading the charge here, but is going to have to come down to the pits.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at this driver right here. I think after his strong run at Montreal, I think this is probably his night. I mean, now that both the Project 2 cars that we expected to have a shot to win, Zach Buchanan and Mitch Welker, now that they're out, this is definitely, I think, the favorite here. You might be able to argue the 28 of Nicholas Johnson, but Liam Quinn's been quicker for most of the race.
Yeah, well, definitely the way this race is turning out, it's looking like our winner is going to come up from either Quinn, Johnson, or Larkin. And even actually Byron Daly, too, he closed in a little bit on that pit sequence. He was kind of hanging out and slightly distant fourth, but has really been bringing that gap down.
145 miles an hour sustained through the carousel. High G loads through there for sure as well. See the chase up ahead. Nicholas Johnson trying to chase down Liam Quinn, and he's in draft range, but if you're in the slipstream, you know, and you don't really need to pass, I wouldn't be wasting my push to pass on just sitting here. I'd wait until I want to overtake to use it. So he's probably just going to sit in the slipstream, maybe try to save some fuel, and have to take a little bit less later tonight. Oh, big slide for Liam Quinn. And that's going to change hands for the lead, put the 28 of Johnson back in position to reassume the lead once the front four pit as Zico and Evans.
Oh, Quinn's not done yet. Going to try to do a crossover here coming out of the final corner.
That was all it took, was a bit of a slide and the exit of the boot for Liam Quinn.
Well, Quinn's right in behind him now, coming up to the back straightaway here. I'm curious, Quinn's eager to take this back immediately.
He's going to have an opportunity. Clips the grass on corner exit just a little bit, but he'll have a slipstream. He's only 2/10 back. We're going to see how much of a run he builds here on the back straightaway. It's going to be easy. It's almost too easy. And I think Johnson knows he can't defend that. Again, he can't maintain that inside groove, though. Johnson around the outside. Power move for the 28 to hang on the lead. What a great racing at the front of the field right now.
Yeah, and with the shenanigans that have been happening up front, Daly's closed up. It's now a four-way battle for the lead.
Quinn's not done yet either. Told you he was quicker. Yeah, he might have made a mistake, but all this started with that little slip-up he had last lap in turn number 9. So it's so easy to throw things away so quickly and have to work so hard to get it back.
Yeah, that's the problem though. You can be as fast as you want. If you make mistakes, it's going to be pretty much worthless. That tricky corner that didn't even hit anything, just got loose coming out of it.
It's past halfway here, lap 25 of 47. Ben Fuller, Jack Andrick, Woody Mahan still have not made their pit stops yet.
And even actually too, you see through in the frame in the background, there's Kite Bomber's box, so he's starting to close in as well.
Creeping into the picture. High 125s right now for him. Everyone else is in the 126s. Now Quinn didn't get a great run through the last half of that lap. That's let Johnson get away just a touch.
Yeah, he's under threat from Larkin. If these guys start fighting him behind him, Johnson's going to be able to pull away a little bit.
Now, does Quinn have to deal with Larkamp at all on this straightaway? I don't know if Larkamp will have enough.
No, he's going to get a tow, but yeah, not enough to make a pass.
There's your front four. And Bommersbach will cycle out to be 5th here.
Yeah, then Andrew Wood, and then Riley Thompson, who's made up quite a few positions. He should cycle out to be 7th once the full pit stop cycle out.
He'd be in this battle if it weren't for the spin he had down in turn 1 about 10 laps ago. So
he's going to be kicking himself a bit for that. That was a big mistake, and that cost him a lot of time.
Great battle between these drivers right now. Johnston a little bit faster last lap than Quinn, but Quinn has closed that gap right back up again. Ben Fuller in the lead heads to pit lane. Means only Andrick and Mahan have their pit stops left to make.
And Andrick and Mahan stay out again. they're not going to be able to make it to the end at this point with the way they're running.
Well, you can throw a blanket over these front four right now. And you see the background, as you mentioned a little while ago, Kai Bommersbach is slowly creeping into the picture.
Yeah, he's been creeping in about 2-3 tenths a second a lap on our leaders. So at the rate he's going, he will catch them.
Well, he will have to deal with Ben Fuller, who's up the road and has just come to pit lane. And Ben Fuller has inserted himself right in the middle of this battle.
The funny thing I was just about to ask you before he came in, I was going to ask you if we could look at the pit delta, because he was 27 seconds ahead of the leaders, and he's come up right in the midst of this battle, so that benefited him staying out for quite a while.
So Jack Hendrick is still your leader, and Woody Mahan is a second and a half behind him. They have yet to make their stops. Nicholas Johnson is leading a 5-car train for what will be the lead battle here in just a moment.
Almost a 6-car train. Everyone just kind of goes back up here for the lead. This is a fantastic race.
Yeah, Bommersbach is lagged just a little bit. He is quicker, but still got some ground left to make up. But you're right. What a battle between these drivers.
I'm waiting here, you know, once the pit window opens here in about 5 laps time. Who's going to come down first?
Will they all come together? I mean, in a race like this, you almost kind of want to be together to be able to use the slipstream. I don't know. I mean, if you can really try to undercut or overcut a whole lot, I don't know if that's really the strategy to play today.
You know, I don't think really tires are going to mean anything. I think it's going to be a matter if you want some cleaner air. Yeah, the draft's going to be important.
I would almost argue that maybe the cleaner air is not a good thing. I think you want the slipstream.
Well, the problem is that you're going to be stuck, especially for guys like Liam Quinn, who I think have faster pace. Even Byron Daly, for that matter, as well. If you got more pace than the guys out in front of you, and you think you can push, you can get that clean air and use it because you're going to just be sitting behind, especially in this train of 5 cars. And I think that's going to be the big thing, too, is to get out of this train. So
Jack Andrick has come down as well as Woody Mahan. That turns over the lead to Johnston. Now this battle with that 5-car train, plus Kai Bommersbach tacked on the end. And then way in the background, you see Andrew Wood and Riley Thompson, and they're trading spots, move to 56 up to 7.
So Thompson's able to go further up the order. He's got a little bit of ways to go to the leaders, but still fairly close on the considering.
It wasn't really any faster than the leaders last time, so he's not closing that gap. So it'll be 20 laps to go next time by again. 18 is stretching it.
Yeah, I was going to say 17, I think, is maybe where you could want to do. You'll have to fuel save a bit if you don't come in at 17.
Yeah, so really 3 or 4 laps is really what we're looking at now. And why would you cut it close at this point? I mean, I would just come in when you know you're good.
Well, yeah, I think for these guys, they're going to have to come out with 16 to make sure that they're good on fuel, because they definitely want to be saving.
Into the final corner, all running nose to tail. And I don't think right now, honestly, I don't think anyone's pushing extraordinarily hard. I think they're kind of riding here, waiting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, you really can't, especially if you're Daly and Fuller back there. You know, with all the dirty air coming out the cars ahead of them, there's not much you can really do. You can try to get a slipstream pass down here through this section.
I just don't think there's any incentive right now either.
No,
I mean, there's no reason why you get out front now, because that lets everyone else plan their race around you, which you don't want. You want to be the one playing your strategy based on everyone else. Some lap traffic they're going by now.
Yeah, a little bit of a factor here. Quinn and Johnson get on by, but
John Wilco on the 62 that's going to lap down, but he'll pull over, let them on through.
Smart decision for him. Just let the leaders fight amongst themselves. Yeah, Johnson's got a, he doesn't know what everyone else is going to do.
I think they're just going to kind of follow him. I mean, I don't know.
I think Fuller is going to definitely stay out because he hasn't been out here for a while.
Oh, you see Larkamp big understeer through turn 7. Slow him up just a touch. Ooh, Glenn Fuller took a look to the inside of Byron Daly, backed out of it, was a little bit late on the brakes there. Yeah, he had an issue down in the boot, I believe. Yeah. Oh, bit of a curb hop for the 31. Like, he crashed when we noticed that intense battle for the lead, so I didn't cut to it. Whoa, and Larkamp a little bit offline there. Trying to protect from Byron Daly and hold off Ben Fuller. I got a little dicey.
Fuller almost knocked him around out of the final corner. Then they got really close to hitting each other. Here comes Fuller down into turn 1 deep on the brakes.
Oh, you can see the brake rotors glowing. Can he make the pass? He does. Pushes Larkamp out a little bit wide, about 2 laps from the pit window opening for these drivers. And Liam Quinn tacked onto the back of Johnson. They've separated out. Another 1.8 seconds back to Byron Daly. So it's really these front 2 that have the shot to win right now.
Well, I think Daly's going to easily catch back up to them. I think he's got some pretty significant pace. Here comes Quinn all over the back of the 28.
And right behind. Now you see how much air push is there. There's your answer. Not really that much. I thought it'd be a lot worse than that. Tucked in behind. Yeah, a little bit worse there.
That's really the kind of corner you're struggling in. Pretty much almost every single corner in the boot.
Jack Andrick. Yep, he's gone around in turn number 1.
Might have just looked at himself here.
He gets over the edge of the curve and bounces over. Oh, man, a nasty hit there. Danny Roberts, I believe, has just come into pit lane, and he's now leaving. He's done pitting for the night. That's 19.
No, remember he had that 15-second speeding penalty. If he didn't have that, he would easily be in the fight for this.
He should be done pitting. It's a bit of a stretch with 19 to go, but he should. That's gonna be tight.
Oh wait, yeah, with 19.
Yeah, I think he's gonna run out. I mean, I think we can go 18 max. So unless he saves something, which he's not really in a position where he can save much of anything.
Yeah, well, 17 you're saving, 18 you're saving a lot, 19 you're gonna have to do something.
Why does it always end up being a strategy? Can we just not have one race to start finish to the end and not have to worry about any of that? It'd be nice. But Quinn and Johnson, they have lost a little bit of ground to Daly, about 1/10 of a second, but they are completely broken free of the draft. And really, these two determine the destiny for everybody else tonight. If these guys cooperate, they won't. Liam Quinn to the inside.
Quinn taking opportunity, the fact he's got no one in behind him to try to make an attempt to pass. Fortunately, couldn't get it done. Johnson's going to keep the spot. And next lap, the pit window's going to open. I doubt we're going to see anyone in the top 5 or even the top 6 actually.
No, there's no reason to put. I mean, there's no reason. Why would you pit now? Go at least one more lap just to make sure that you're good and then come. I mean, there's no incentive to undercut. I don't really think the tires have been wearing that much. We haven't seen a whole lot of drop-off. Johnson just ran only 2/10 off his best pace. Same thing for everyone else behind him.
Yeah, Roberts caught him up to everyone else, so it's eventually a 6-way battle for the lead.
Wow.
And all these guys running within 4 seconds of each other.
A little bit wide out of turn 8 for Bommersbach. But again, his night is already spectacular with the 23 crashed out. Actually, John Poole is back out on track. He's only 1 lap down after all that.
Huh.
And he's in 16th, so he's gained a bunch of spots. It's going to help, but he's still going to be...
He's still going to lose, especially considering the way Bommersbach's running. He's in 6th and has a chance to even move up further.
Yeah.
So no one's going to pit this time by. Now, they really got a good chance. Now they can pretty much make to the end next lap through. So, interested in seeing who dares come on down out of these top 6 drivers.
Bommersbach is all over Larkamp right now. He'll have an easy slipstream by, and Larkamp's pace has fallen off more than the others around him on this particular run. And he'll make an easy pass for 5th place for the 37 car. Second in the point standings, 36 back into points. And again, things should cycle up and change up. And this was a big points lead a couple races ago for the 23, but 2 consecutive road course races with collisions for John Poole has put him in a position where he might lose the lead after tonight. So Liam Quinn is half a second back. He hasn't been able to stay quite as tight as Johnson. Johnson ran 4/10 quicker last time by. Now, we should expect to see stops soon. Pit window's open to the end. You can make it from here. Will Quinn and Johnson come down now, or will they stay out another lap or 2?
I can see Quinn coming down. Pretty much the most likely of any of the guys in here to come, but we'll see.
Here, Johnson is not coming down. I thought the speed is slow for a second. Does anyone else pop out of line? I don't think they will. I think they're all going to go together. I think that would be the smartest thing to do, to stay in this train together. What I'm curious about is if this will close up everybody or if we'll spread them out more. No, it's a little bit easier to push on pit road entry if you're following someone, because you know if you don't run into them, you'll probably get down to pit road speed. But Johnson, again, not quicker, but he's maintaining that gap easily. Ben Fuller has launched himself right in the middle of this battle for the win after starting 18th tonight. What about that?
Yeah, again, I expect him to stay out much longer than these guys. He's only been out here, if you guys pull this graphic. He's only been out here for 6 laps, everyone else 11 and 10.
Liam Quinn did a great job through the middle sector, closed up the gap 3/10 that time. I think Johnson's a little bit better in the boot, I think is where he's been better, but Liam Quinn that time through closed in really through the carousel areas where he's been the most aggressive tonight. Waiting for the last pit stop of the night. And Johnson is out up front. He's led 10 laps tonight Liam Quinn behind him has led 0. You only need to lead 1 lap here. And I think this is going to look a lot like a race at Talladega or Daytona. Make that move on the last lap. They stay out once again. The quickest car of this group this time by was the driver that was last in the battle, Bommersbach. The next fastest car was Ben Fuller in 4th. The next quickest car was Byron Daly. The next quickest after that, Liam Quinn. The next one after that, Nicholas Johnson. So 5th was the fastest, 4th was the second fastest. They're all closing in on each other here, Finney, and the accordion effect bringing these cars back together.
Yeah, and they see top 6 all in picture there, and actually Fuller making a pass on Daly and behind. I think he's got a run here. Can't quite get it done.
Can't stick the nose up the inside of Daly. Daly still leaves him a hole there. But for the lead, it's gone from 0.8 of a second down to 2, and Quinn is all over Johnston for the lead, putting some pressure on the race leader.
Fuller putting pressure on Daly and behind. Daly's again been slowly bringing this gap back down.
14 to go next time by. Who's the first to bluff here? I don't think it really matters when they pit now. It's just a matter of will they all come together. I think that's the key. Stay with your drafting buddies. And don't make any mistakes. A mistake now, your race is over. I mean, you're not going to win the race if you make a mistake like Liam Quinn did earlier. Remember all that slip up that he had? I think Bommersbach, was he off course there for a second? He got a little bit wide in turn 10.
Yeah, I think lost a little bit of time, but nothing too bad.
14 to go. And again, the reason why Liam Quinn's in second right now is that little slip up out of turn 9, 13, 14 laps ago. That's what changed over the lead. Andrew Wood comes on down in 9th place. Now, he's not in position to win this race, but he's the first one to visit pit lane. Ben Fuller all over Byron Daly in the back straightaway. There was a couple lap cars up the road. And Ben Fuller just not able to get the run into the corner. Liam Quinn is all over Johnston.
Yeah, he's just hasn't been really able to do anything. Might be able to do something with the lap car.
Yeah, this is going to hurt Johnston if that lap car doesn't get out of the way. I believe that's Mike Hurley in the 33. He really shouldn't put up too much of a fight.
There's also a ton of time in the...
They might actually... Oh, this is going to be a weird place to catch him here. It's hard to get out of the way through the final sector.
Really tough. Fuller
Ben Fuller behind.
Big dive on the inside of Byron Daly. How about that?
Gets the job done. Ben Fuller up to 3rd, and is he now the race favorite? He's been the fastest the last couple laps. Liam Quinn is in 2nd, and there is the 28 of Johnson swerving to let the 33 know he's there. Will this impact the 28's lead at all? I don't think it has. But here comes the 24. He's going to hit pit lane. He's going to bring Byron Daly with him.
Interesting. So strategy at play here. Quinn and Daly the first ones to bite.
Oh boy. And this is going to hurt Ben Fuller at least a little bit.
Whoa, someone went sliding off the track. It might have been... Oh, I think that was Hurley. Yeah. Just some smoke.
Yeah, he was just way wide. I think he was just trying to get out of the way and locked up the brakes to stop. But he'll be all good and continue. So now, Byron Daly and Liam Quinn, who gets out of the pit lane first? It was Quinn, Daly in that order, and that is how they will leave their box. And Ben Fuller gained a ton of time on Johnston on the back straightaway. Runs wide though. Whoa, that's dangerous on that curve.
I think this is going to benefit him.
I thought it was going to hurt him, but he closed up so much, I think he gained some time here. Because he lost his drafting buddy, but was able to close up to Johnson and now has that draft from further back. It's a stronger draft when you're coming from that far back, so you're building all that momentum. Ben Fuller is going to be the one to beat, I think, here, Finney. 12 laps to go next time by. He's been the quickest one consistently. He just ran a 125.408, which is quicker than Nicholas Johnson's best lap of the race. He's flying.
I'm curious if anyone's going to respond to Quinn and Daly.
I think you have to. I mean, I don't really think tires are worth that much, but you got to get your stuff done so you can get back to fighting.
Yeah, and I think that's a danger because I think Daly and Quinn are faster than Johnston.
Not going to bite this time.
Yeah, both drivers are going to stay out.
Is this a mistake?
Bommersbach coming in.
I don't think this is a mistake.
Well as Larkamp.
I like the call that Ben Fuller's making, but you see Bommersbach and Larkamp coming in as you mentioned, as well as Riley Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson's also been actually closing in on Larkamp.
Yeah, he'll be right back in this fight.
Yeah, 7 cars. Jesus. Everyone's fighting for the lead.
Hey,
actually, here's the fight for the lead.
Wow, here comes Fuller to the outside lane up through the S's. Side by side, the 28 cuts him off. Drag race on the back straightaway, back to the left, back to the right. Here they go to the carousel.
And Fuller, he's got the lane open, barely got a nose to the inside of Johnson, can't get it done.
Oh, he's on the curb!
Oh,
Contact! The 28's gonna
go
spin!
around, and there's a wreck in the carousel.
Oh.
Both these drivers just lost a large amount of time and both have damage.
That was the race. That's gonna be it for Johnston.
They're both out of it.
Yeah,
Fuller's got a damaged wing here, and he's got to go another half a lap to fix it.
Oh my goodness. Disaster for these two cars. Looking back.
And I was just about to say, I think Fuller honestly probably should have came in last time by.
Yeah, let's look up from high above real quick. I mean, the 28, does he come down or does he slid up?
Yeah, he slipped
up. Ben Fuller slid up.
He slipped up trying to push into the corner. I think it would have been wiser to back out of it.
Yeah, again, you have to be aggressive, though. Just too aggressive at that point in the race. So Johnson and Fuller lost so much time that Liam Quinn is now going to be your favorite to win, all because of that little mistake. Wow.
And Quinn has a second on Byron Daly. And it's 2.4 seconds back to Bombers block of Larkamp and Thompson.
Oh, Johnson's going to stay out another lap. I don't quite get that.
Yeah, he does have some damage to his left end plate on the rear wing. You can see it's slightly curved and dented there. So
I know Ben Fuller's got worse damage, but if I'm Johnson, I would have come right then.
And even actually had some damage to the
floor,
the side pod. Yeah.
This is not looking good for Johnston. And that last lap time was a 1:31.0. That's 5 seconds slower. So Liam Quinn in the 24 on the front straightaway. Where's Ben Fuller? He's in the pits, and it's going to be easy. Liam Quinn's going to drive right on by. In position to win.
Yeah, don't count out Daly yet, though. I think he's still got some really solid pace in that Home Depot car.
That was a little bit quicker, 2/10 faster than Liam Quinn last time by.
Yeah, that's two without the draft. I want to point out too, because they're over a second, you're not really getting much of a tow. Now you see actually Riley Thompson cutting through the order as well.
Yeah, he's gotten by Steven Larkamp. Larkamp's pace has drastically dropped off in the last half of this race.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. He looked like he was a favorite to win, and then was slowly dropping on back by a lot of guys.
He started on the front row tonight.
Yeah.
Had pace in the short term, but might not be taking care of the tires quite as well as somebody else. Again, I haven't really seen a lot of tire drop-off, so I'm hesitant to say that, but I can't explain his drop any other way.
I think I might be also to the tires, just not as bad, I guess, in cleaner air, but once you're in behind someone, I think that's really when it starts to affect you.
It doesn't really seem to matter. I mean, I think the car's a little bit less comfortable, but it doesn't seem to be a big speed difference on old tires when you're by yourself. So here comes Johnston.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be out of it. I don't see a way with it staying out an extra lap, damage to the car.
Yeah. So Liam Quinn now is a 1.1 second gap. It is closing. Byron Daly is coming quick. You know how successful Daly's been on road courses in the past. And going to make this one tight. 10 laps to go at Watkins Glen. A little over 30 miles left in this race. And Johnston still in the pits as Fuller goes by, Larkamp goes by, Thompson, Bommersbach, and the rest of the field. Frustrating end of the night.
Yeah, it really is. I think he's going to have to sit for at least the rear wing. They make you take that. You don't have an option if it's damaged enough. They force you to take a new one. And here we got Riley Thompson going on by Bommersbach. I think Bommersbach going to let him go.
And a swing back to the left to set himself up for the carousel, which has been a challenging place to pass tonight. Again, you're under so much load going through that corner. It's just difficult to make a pass, and you can get it done, but it requires some give and take, and there was just no one willing to give there in the closing moments of this race. It's broken up the field a little bit. It's still 1.1 seconds between Liam Quinn and Byron Daly. That will be the battle for the lead. And Daly was so close the last time here at Watkins Glen, lost this race on the last lap.
So interesting thing, I just did some math. I think Poole still barely retained the points lead.
I mean, again, he's sitting 15th right now. He's 18 seconds back. I don't think he'll gain any more spots. But
no, because with Bommersbach in 6th, it's going to bring the gap down 30 points. And I think Bommersbach might have also a few more points from halfway.
Yeah, this is...
So he's either going to be... It's going to be really close.
Well, okay, essentially, with that, Poole's lead is gone.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll
completely
switch,
gone,
but it's gone.
It's either 5 below or 5 above.
Yeah, it's going to be a small price to pay for the 23. It could have been a lot worse had he just crashed out and been done with the night.
What happened to... Speaking of crashing out...
What?
Someone's not there, though. Oh.
28?
Oh, okay. No. Okay, never mind. Because Bommersbach is in 6th. I think someone else is staying out with Cohen Evans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that they stayed out ahead.
Yeah, so Cohen Evans, meanwhile, is up in the front, and he definitely cannot make it to the end. He actually has to come to pit lane either this lap or next lap. And that will turn over the lead to Liam Quinn. Now, we mentioned last time the battle between the two leaders, or the drivers that will assume lead, was 1.1 seconds. It's now down to 0.3 of a second. The battle for the lead is on, coming to 8 laps to go at Watkins Glen. This is why I love this racetrack.
Well, here's the even interesting thing.
Okay, that was great English.
These guys are at 125.8, 125.6 respectively. Behind them, Riley Thompson, 125 flat.
That was his fastest lap of the race.
And he's only 3 seconds behind.
Oh, boy. 8 laps to go. Liam Quinn is going to take over the lead as Cohen Evans comes into the box. Quinn in control of the race, but there's Byron Daly, who's behind him and faster, and behind them still and faster still is Riley Thompson. That time was a little slower than Daly, but a little faster than Quinn.
Yeah, I think that it's really just Quinn he's got to worry about, because obviously Quinn's in the lead, and especially I think he's hoping these guys fight.
Will they fight? Oh, they will. 0.7 of a second. The gap opens up on the first sector.
I wouldn't be surprised too if Daly just decided to sit in a little bit behind Quinn, although he might want to reconsider that with Thompson closing in the background. They see Bomberspot holding off Steven Larkamp.
Larkamp going to try to set him up for turn 6, a little bit stronger run on the outside. Going to build a run and look to driver's right. Oh, Bomberspot comes over to block. What was once a 7-car fight is dwindled down to, for now, 2 cars at the front of the field, Quinn and Daly. Watching the battle for 4th, that's Bommersbach in the 37, Larkamp in the 31. I'm just continuing to watch this fight. How close does it get? Daly's definitely better in the boot. And closing in through turn number 6 and 7 now.
Starting to get close back again, under half a second. See Quinn starting to swerve a little bit down the straightaway.
7 laps to go at Watkins Glen. Daly closing. Look at how much more he makes up on the brakes. I think that's why he's better in the slower section. He gives up on some on exit though, but he's definitely better at the boot section than Quinn. But he closed in 2/10.
Thompson ran under a 25-second lap. Actually, Thompson ran his fastest lap of the race.
Now, Larkamp actually just gave up a couple spots. Ben Fuller on through.
And actually, Thompson ran one of the fastest laps of the race at a 24.9.
Here comes Ben Fuller to the outside as battle for the lead is still on between these front 2.
Oh, and behind them, Fuller and Bomberspot going at it.
And Ben Fuller's got it. He's been one of the fastest cars this race, but hasn't been able to actually do anything with it because of that issue he had with the leader at the time. It was the 28 of Nicholas Johnston. So, for the lead is 0.3 of a second. For 4th place is 0.3 of a second and growing with Bommersbach sliding down the order. One more.
Fuller!
Fuller! And Bommersbach is in the fence! With 7 laps to go. Bommersbach throws away what was going to be easily a huge advantage on Jean Poole.
Yeah, he picked the wrong lane there. Could have avoided it.
Oh, that was just so not good timing for the 37. He had an opportunity to massively close this gap on the points leader, and I think he slipped himself. He did. He also was in the middle of crashing.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he followed Fuller out there.
Oh, and more carnage for drivers that have so much to lose tonight.
He's gonna have to pit here. Doesn't really have to take tires. He's got a new wing on there and get back out there.
Byron Daly all over Liam Quinn. Battle for the lead with 6 to go at Watkins Glen. Side by side, takes the lead away and makes it look easy. Daly to the lead. And Quinn riding in 2nd. What does he do? Where does he go?
I don't know. All I know is Thompson 1.8 seconds behind these guys.
He's gonna run wide.
He's gonna be there.
Yeah, Thompson's still faster by 0.6 of a second than both these cars last time. So maybe it's not even Quinn or Daly we're worried about. Maybe it's the 56, last week's winner.
Yeah, probably would have been out with that spin, but he's been running at a really rock solid pace.
Oh man, I
catch up.
So Bommersbach's gonna come back out on the racetrack in 10th, and John Poole's in 13th. So all that advantage he had is gone.
Yeah, he's not gonna gain nearly enough. It'll close down to probably like 20 points, but yeah, it's not as much as it could have been if Bommersbach didn't make the mistake.
What a frustrating last couple laps here for the 37. Now, the 23 of John Poole was just celebrating a little bit, seeing that car drop down the relative.
Oh yeah, because that's another position for him. He's up into 13th now. I was amazed that car could actually stay out there. I thought his car was a lot worse shape.
5 laps to go for the leaders. Daly, Quinn, nose to tail. Does Quinn have enough? Or is it Riley Thompson that's going to come out from nowhere and steal this one in the final couple minutes? It's about 7 minutes worth of racing. There are your 2 leaders, and here comes Riley Thompson. Again, faster than Liam Quinn, a little bit slower than Daly that time, though. Now that Byron's out front, he might be able to drive away, but these 2 are going to fight for the top spot.
And side by side in the corner, someone's got to give here.
Neither will give. Side by side, Quinn backs out at the last second. Daly hangs on, but it's going to let Riley Thompson close in even more.
Yeah, and also throws a little bit of a block on the entry into the boot. Trying to get clear of Quinn. They both run just a little bit wide.
Oh, Riley Thompson is loving this right now, closing in from behind. Understeer big time for the 24. Riley Thompson way offline. He's pushing hard.
Coming down to the final laps here, but next time at the line is going to be 4 laps to go.
Running out of time. Can Thompson get there? He's been so much faster. He gained a half a second this lap, and he is within draft range now. And if he's got any push to pass left, you bet he'll be using it.
Yeah, that's again an unfortunate thing we don't have access to is how much these guys have left. For their sake, I hope they have enough.
Byron Daly is 4 laps away from redeeming himself here at Watkins Glen. Liam Quinn is only half a second away from taking the lead back. Riley Thompson is 1.5 back from winning 2 races in a row after the dry spell that he's had all season long, ending at Montreal last week. Through the S's, the climb up the hill. 1, 2, and 3. Now, if Riley Thompson gets to Liam Quinn, he does not have any time to dispose of the 24. He's going to have to get it done and get it done quick.
Yeah,
but you see Quinn, he might not even have to worry about it if these 2 take each other out.
Yeah, I think that's what you might be kind of hoping for, but these guys have been giving each other quite a lot of respect. So I'll be kind of surprised if they do get into each other.
No, they're pushing it. You can see that when you hit that rumble strip on the outside at 5, you're really pushing the issue. Liam Quinn didn't get down to the apex very effectively there.
Yeah, wasn't able to just with all the dirty air and being in behind the 06.
Thompson closing. Look at how much ground he's gained. He's only 0.6 back from Liam Quinn.
He can try to close this down to 4:10. See by the time they start the next lap, he could potentially get past Quinn on the back straightaway.
Gonna be 3 laps to go. 4 minutes of racing remaining. Byron Daly out up front. Liam Quinn in second. Last season, Byron Daly in his Fuel IndyCar Series debut was leading on the white flag lap and lost it at the very end of the race. Can he finally redeem himself here? 3 laps to go. Thompson's progress has slowed a little bit. They almost ran identical lap times, these top 3 last time through. Some lap traffic.
Yeah, John Poole coming out of the pits right in the middle of this. Oh, this is going to hurt Quinn a lot.
Oh, yeah, well. Oh, he's going to have to go way offline. That's going to bring Riley Thompson in, and Thompson should be able to easily blow right on by Quinn by the end of the straightaway. This is great for Riley Thompson. Here he comes.
Oh, he's actually tacking out.
Doesn't matter. To the inside. 188 miles an hour. And Thompson tries to grab second place. Quinn fights him hard on the outside.
I don't think he's going to get by him. He's going to be the outside here on the entry to the boot. Couldn't get it done.
He's closed up the gap down to 1 second to the leader, Byron Daly. Swings to the outside. Thompson trying to get by second place, Liam Quinn.
He's trying to find any place he can take advantage.
Don't make a mistake. Don't throttle up too soon. Side by side for P2.
Run. Here he comes.
Push to pass engaged down the back straightaway. Can they get it done before turn 8?
And he does. Quinn's going to give it to him. He's got 2 more laps now to chase down Daly. If he can keep up the pace he was going earlier, he should definitely catch him.
Well, the 23 of John Poole exiting the pits right in the middle of that battle. That was a little bit dicey.
Yeah, that costs Quinn there long term for that.
I don't know if Quinn could have won the race either way, but he certainly lost second place. It's 1.1 seconds. It's 2 laps, just over 6.5 miles for Byron Daly. Can he get the job done this time, or will Riley Thompson deny him another victory at Watkins Glen?
For Thompson, this lap is going to be a matter of catching up to that 06. Next lap is going to be where he needs to pass him.
What a pass by Riley Thompson on the outside of turn number 7, down the straightaway into 8. That was a phenomenal move. And he's closing big time. 7/10, 6/10, 5/10. He's closing on the leader. Tacking out at the top of the rev range, 188 miles an hour. 0.3 of a second separate them.
Using all of his tools. And if he used it there, I have to imagine he has one more.
So close. A lap and a half left to go. Byron Daly trying to steal this race away from the drivers that have led the majority of it. Riley Thompson, tonight, has led no laps. Can he lead one more?
He's definitely closing in here. In the middle of the boot here.
He's there. Riley Thompson is there. If he can just stay right here onto the back straightaway, it'll be an easy win for him. If he can just blow right on by Daly with the draft.
I'm curious of what Daly's gonna do. He's gotta have to do something.
If Daly doesn't have pushed pass and Thompson does, it's game over. Time to go racing for one last lap in round number 11. The championship is closing, but for Byron Daly, it's all about the checkered flag. Thompson is half a second back, white flag in the air. One more lap around WGI.
Yeah, half a second. He's got to make up over this one lap down into turn 1 here. Just got a good run on exit. So
Thompson,
he's a bit far.
Winner last week at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve at the road course. Building up the draft. Half a second back is going to be enormous. If he's got any push to pass, he's going to have to use it.
Yeah, he's definitely using it now.
Daly goes defensive into the carousel, swings back left. Thompson follows, back to the right. He's not going to follow him this time, into the carousel for the final time.
Oh man, that might have been his big opportunity.
Big slip up for Daly. In turn 5, Thompson closes.
He's got to run. He's able to get it away from Quinn in this part of the track. He's going to have to do the same.
Oh, Thompson's wide. He's in the dirt.
Whoa.
He saves it and will continue, but he's going to lose some ground.
He's going to be really creative here through the next few corners.
It's almost over, Finian. He's off track again.
I think that
he's out of time.
Yeah,
no more corners.
That's all she wrote.
Passing opportunities gone for Thompson, but he's not going to stop trying until the bitter end.
Yeah, because Daly just has to make sure he doesn't make a mistake now through the next few corners.
Close. He's so close. He can taste a second win in a row. But Byron Daly, after the tragic end to last season's race at Watkins Glen, lost it on the last lap. This time, through turn number 11, coming to the checkers, drag race to the line. Byron Daly gets it done in New York.
And how about that? Riley Thompson, after looping it around early in the race, is going to still come home in second.
Wow.
Liam Quinn rounding out your top 3. Stephen Larkamp in 4th, Cohen Evans 5th.
Valiant effort by Riley Thompson. Made it exciting. But for Byron Daly, what a drive. No mistakes at the end there, other than the turn 5 one. But once you get through 5 here, it's pretty much all you get. What a race. Celebration for Byron Daly. John Poole ends up finishing 12th, Kite Bommersbach in 8th. The points gap will close, but it will not overturn tonight. As Daly finishes his cool-down lap, we'll take a look at our race results. 47 laps, 8 lead changes tonight, but Daly, Thompson, Quinn, Larkamp, and Cohen Evans slotting into top 5. How about that run?
We saw him
17?
with damage earlier to his car and was able to come back.
A couple disappointments tonight. Of course, John Poole actually rebounded for a 12th. I'd say that all things considered, not too shabby.
No, that was a really good finish for him. Bommersbach only able to get 9th, so he's not going to get anywhere near the points gain he would have liked.
Yeah, Hollaba crashed out. Of course, here's the list of drivers that really could have had better runs tonight. Mitch Welker finishes 22nd. Zach Buchanan in 20th. Cristobal Valenzuela in 19th. He had a miserable night tonight. He finishes 22 laps down. But great race. 0.2 of a second, the winning margin. And Thompson, if he had another lap, it would have been over. But he just couldn't quite get to the rear wing of Byron Daly before the carousel, which is the all-important corner to get the pass done here at Watkins Glen. Celebration for the 06. Gets it done in Watkins Glen. Finger Lakes region celebration for Daly. We'll be back to talk to him and a couple others in just a moment. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back live to Sim TV here now with 6th place finisher Nick Johnston and the number 28 Shell IR18 tonight. Nick led a bunch of laps, had an opportunity to win the race, but things didn't quite work out that way. Just walk us through your night, the contact, and the battle back to P6 tonight.
Well, we had a great show Pennzoil BMW tonight. It was I was qualified 4th, kind of sat there for the first stint. I knew fuel strategy would be close, so I was looking to just save some fuel. We got those early cautions. And unfortunately, Mitch had his issue, and then I was able to pull John into the pits under that caution, and then get by Steven and kind of hold the lead there for the rest of the first stint. Came in, pitted, got undercut. Liam made a little mistake. I was able to get back in front and hold the lead that entire time. I wasn't afraid of Ben because I knew that he had pitted under one of those cautions, so I knew his strategy was a little bit different than mine. So I was fairly afraid that he was fairly close there. And then, I don't know, I went side by side with Liam in the carousel 3-4 times. I'm sure you guys saw during the race. Go side by side with Ben one time and we get spun out. So don't quite know what to say, but that's racing. We sustained a little bit of wing damage there. And I tried to stay out just to keep turning laps, make that last stop as short as possible. We had a little bit of rear wing damage, so I lost the rear end entering the boot. Lost even more time, but we were able to pit, come back out, fought by a couple guys there at the end. I had saved all my push to pass, and we finished 6th. I mean, it's disappointing. Should be on the podium at the very least, but you're going to have that, and we'll head on to the next one.
All right, Nick Johnston, 6th place tonight after starting 4th. Nick, thanks for talking. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you.
Next up is going to be the number 24 of Liam Quinn. A hard-fought battle tonight, Liam, but didn't quite have the pace at the end there to fight with Riley and Byron, but another car popping out of the pits there in the closing laps made your life a little bit more difficult. Just walk us through the race and those last couple laps.
Nah, I think you're right there. I mean, I think my run lap pace wasn't quite what Byron and Riley were at, so I'm quite happy with 3rd. I didn't put anything wrong, really. So I think John coming out ahead of us just kind of brought it a lap earlier than it would have happened. I think me and Byron both had the same strategy of just keep it clean, keep it consistent, and be there when you need to be. And it was a lot of fun.
How challenging is it to race at a racetrack where you're relying so much on downforce when you're going through corners at 140, 150 miles an hour, leaning on the edge of the tires? Is it more difficult to make passes that way than it is to outbrake somebody, or is it just a different kind of racing?
It's possible. So with Watkins, you have a lot of camber and you have a lot of elevation changes, and that really helps avoid the error push, because when you have the downhill left in the chute, it's a lot easier to follow than it would be if it was completely flat. So it makes for good racing, I think, because it's not too easy to get in the back of someone, but it's not impossible to catch up and really battle hard.
Liam Quinn, 3rd place tonight in the number 24. Hard-fought battle, Liam. Almost had it. Podium for the 24. Moving on now to 2nd place, Riley Thompson in the number 56 car. So close, only 2/10 separated you from 2 weeks in a row. A wild chase there at the end on Byron Daly. Just didn't quite have enough. What'd you need to get by the 06?
Honestly, I don't know if I could have done much more. By that point, tires are basically gone. So it was just trying to make up my way, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out.
This race started frantically, as did Montreal last week. 2 cautions in the early going. You started 23rd. You made your way up to 2nd. That's where you finished tonight. Risk versus reward on the opening couple laps. You know it's going to be wild. Were you willing to be patient on the first couple laps, or you're just trying to avoid the accidents?
If I felt really comfortable with it, I'd probably go for the move. But most of the time, it was just trying to wait till it's straight, and maybe I can get by 2 people by then.
Looking back, of course, you started back in 23rd, finished 2nd. So close to another win. Are you satisfied with tonight, or do you wish you could have gotten that last spot?
Yeah, I'm happy. After all that chaos at the start, being able to make it through that and then come up through here, battle with a teammate that I've been with like the past while now, finally for the first race. So definitely happy with how it turned out.
All right, Riley Thompson, 2nd place tonight. Not quite 2 wins in a row, but it's still a solid 2nd place. Riley, thanks for talking. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Man of the hour, Byron Daly in the 06. Last time out to Watkins Glen, he lost the lead on the last lap, but this time, Byron, you held on and won the race. Hard-charging Riley Thompson, not able to get by you. Walk us through those last couple laps. Was it all mirror driving, or were you focused on the road ahead?
Oh, there's a lot of mirror driving. I was sitting there trying to manage my push to pass remaining and check out how fast he was catching me. And it's like I had one lap I needed to make it without using it. And long story short, he closed up a ton. I thought I was going to give it away just because of that itself. But kind of got lucky there and got to use it when I needed it. And I mean, I really did get lucky. I felt like I didn't think I was the fastest car by any means, but it feels good to get a win regardless.
Of course, Watkins Glen is so fast, such high speeds here, leaning a lot on the downforce. You were kind of in and out of some battles all day long. How did you feel like this car raced at a track with so much downforce through these corners?
Oh, I thought it raced really, really well. It's just like, as much I hate to say it, but it's just like racing an oval, where you just need to know how to position your car and when to give up to manage the aero wash. And I felt like I did a really good job of that because when guys would get stacked up on each other, I can close the gap. And there was a little bit I got stuck behind, I think, Steven for a while because he was doing a good job of managing himself. But it was just like it was like running an oval race. But, obviously road course racing, braking, all that stuff. But you just have to position your car to manage the aero wash. And if you could get to the next straightaway and do a good job of that, you can close up in the draft. It almost we really were running out of gear into the carousel there. Like we had a little bit more gear. I think you would have saw more overtakes, but regardless, I'm pretty happy about it.
Byron Daly celebrates in upstate New York. Byron, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, Finney and Watkins Glen, I know I love this place, but I don't really think I needed to convince a whole lot of other people how great that race was tonight. Strategy, good racing. I agree that a little bit more gear would have been helpful at times, but what a spectacular race.
Yeah, I'm not surprised for especially Riley Thompson wanting it because he was tacking out. We saw on 2 occasions he was tacking out before they got anywhere close to the end of the straight. But yeah, did his best. Fortunately, wasn't enough. But yeah, that was a hell of a race up there for the lead.
Yeah, Watkins Glen also on tap for the Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series, I believe, next Tuesday as well. So that'll be on the Cup course, the shorter configuration with the bus stop inner loop. That'll be on Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. after the Speed 51 Elite Modified Tour, and also right alongside the Grid Life UK Tour at Oulton Park. Next stream you're going to see is going to be on Saturday night. It's going to be the Outsider Racing League continuing their fights. The next battle after that will be all done on Tuesday night. I'll be on LSR TV on the iRacing Esports Network on Sunday night with some Corvettes at Atlanta, IROC style. Thank you so much for watching. Congratulations to Byron Daly for ending the win drought at Watkins Glen tonight in the 06. Riley Thompson just short of getting 2 wins in a row. We'll see you on Saturday night at 10 for ORL. Have a good night.